chances of finding a person who's dealing with drugs in a small consignment sent to prison are very small.
Herein it is alleged that persons as mentioned in Annexure A committed the offense of dealing drugs heroin, also known as Nyaope. It goes on at paragraph 6 to say that there is a group of Tanzanian nationals who are currently residing in South Africa. They sell drugs in Nyaope for personal gain and also own businesses around Gauteng, Free State, KwaZulu-Natal as a cover-up for their illegal dealings. I don't want to read the whole thing, but it also includes the people that they work with, including the fact that they rely on Uber drivers for transporting drugs. It also deals with how these drugs are brought into the country, and you will note that they come in, or the allegation was that they come in from Pakistan via Mozambique. They're transported into the country through different Southern African borders, in particular, mostly Manguzi, KZN, Komati Port, Mpumalanga, and Bait Bridge in Limpopo. And then on the next page, it lists the targets. What you will note about this is, one, apart from the fact that the Eritrean drugs were, and what is described in this inquiry is an investigation into drugs, the type of drugs are very different. Secondly, the modus operandi is very different. This is transported through the borders of other countries. The targets are also very different. And
Honorable Chair members, we are going to be, as I said, as we are coordinating, we focus on profiling. I think Jarabi presented our focus areas, profiling those that are criminals and those that are state actors within our system that are allowing the criminality to happen. So the profiling will be done jointly by the South African Police Service, the state security, as well as defense intelligence combined. There's commitment made on that. When we are putting these teams, we're going to put them together. How we're going to be approaching this going forward as we are revising this strategy, we're going to stagger our deployments. We'll start with the analysts that are going to be, or start with commanders that we're going to identify, and we profile them. And then from there, we get the analysts that are going to come together from all these entities I'm talking about. And then we're going to be getting analysis work done on syndicates that to confirm that these are the type of syndicates we're dealing with, where they're troubling us, and also drawing up case dockets, whether they are gang-related, drug-related, and we've seen a lot of these gangs that are operating within the spaza shops. Honorable Chair members, we might see this noise of spaza shops in our country. The reality is, it's not because they're making money out of those spaza shops. It's another method of justifying the means to deal with other illicit activities that they're busy with. So the selling of a bread in a price less than what you buy a bread in ShopriteGiant does not justify you to make a profit. So then the question is what is behind that makes them to have prices so low that they beat any South Africans at illegal mining and hijacking, and amongst others. So those are the case dockets that some of them will have been open, where the team are going to do a lot of analysis on them. And then from there, we're going to mobilize the investigation team, jointly between organized crime and DPCI, profile them, and then be able to coordinate those investigations, of course, working with the prosecution, being guided by them. So that's in short, Honorable Chair members, but as I'm sure as we are working on this, progressing on our work, we'll be able to update the committee when the time comes. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, and greetings again to everyone. The questions that was asked was regarding the processing of people that are arrested in court. I think it's going to be important, and I'm going to ask the media, perhaps as you get time, that you encourage the debates or the discussion surrounding the legal system in our country, because until the public understand what it takes to process a person through the system, people are going to be frustrated. So in this instance, when you find someone with a consignment of drugs, for instance, you're going to arrest that person if you suspect that it is drugs, but the drugs must be taken to the forensic lab for testing to confirm. So if it's confirmed that it is indeed drugs, then we have a challenge that we now have to place that case on a court room. With the number of prosecutors we have, and the number of presiding officers that we have, and the number of arrests that are affected by the police, then the system in courts get the list becomes so long, the court roll becomes so long, and the case is delayed because of that. And then comes the time when the person eventually the case matters placed on a court roll, and the person has to be taken through that administration process. The chances, and I'm saying this not necessarily because it's made by me, but the chances of finding a person who's dealing with drugs in a small consignment sent to prison are very small. The person who's got a big consignment of drugs, definitely they end up in correctional services. But the ones that you might be referring to, that you find on the street, for those to end up in court, they might be convicted. But for them to end up in prison or in a correctional service, it is very rare. Why is that? It is because of the overcrowding already that is in our correctional facilities. So what courts end up doing, they convict them, but they give them alternative kind of punishment. Is that a deterrent? Is any rehabilitation that happens in the process? What we see as the police is that we are cycling them. We take them through court process, and they get found guilty, and they're given a lesser sentence, and they come back to the street, they continue doing the same thing. So that's why you're going to see members being frustrated that they keep arresting and arresting and arresting. So it is unfortunate because it is what it is. That's what the police can do, but the challenges are beyond us. I always premier refer to Mr. Lucky Dube, who once said in his song they will be building more prison and they will not be building any schools anymore. I think we've reached a stage in our country that we must build more prisons because there's just criminality in every angle we look at. That's why our correctional facilities are full. But we'll keep on working as law enforcement to try and remove those off the street. I don't necessarily have much of the details of this, Mr. Ali, that you are talking about, the Malawian, in terms of what is the status on the matter that involves him. Allow me to get more details on this, then I can be able to give feedback on it. The issues of point, ma'am, that you're talking about, I've encouraged the community policing structure in KwaZulu-Natal to work very close with police officers. In KwaZulu-Natal, we have over 184 police stations that are responsible for policing the citizen in this province. And every station has got a station commander. So what I encourage society to do is to make sure that you have the details of the station commander of every police station. And I instructed, I've got my teams conducting inspection to see what are the instructions have been carried out. But I want to invite the citizens of this province as well, that every month, without fail, that the station commander, together with his or her management team, supposed to meet with the community to give feedback on state of policing in that policing area, and give feedback to the community with regard to the case management, incident that has happened in that locality, and what arrest or what police have done in terms of bringing the perpetrators thereof to justice, and also to engage with communities on safety tips to allow the communities to understand what is at risk in their communities and not at risk, the do's and the don'ts. And also to hear from the communities their complaints. Complaints of this nature should be tabled in such meetings. If such meetings are not taking place, then my office must be engaged, because that means we have a station commander who does not care about the well-being of society in the area where they're policing. So that's what we have expected of every station commander to do. But none beside that, even if you're not able to attend those meetings, you have a right to register a complaint. So when you see police officers doing wrong, you report to the leadership of the police. But you also feel that police continue to do what's wrong, what is crime, what's criminal. You have a right to approach the leadership of the Independent Police Investigative Directorate. So they have a duty to investigate the wrong that is done by the police. So if police commit crime, in the line of their duty, the IPIT is there for that reason. So feel free to engage them, and their contact details are available online, so that they can be able to investigate those that are doing wrong. But from police management, if you report to us about the wrong that is done by police officers, we must act. And our failure to act, that means we're also complicit to the wrong that is done by the police.
Thank you, Chair. Perhaps I'll start at the bottom on the issue of restoring our reputation as well as restoring trust to the communities that we serve. Chair, we are hard at work to ensure that we restore our reputation as an organization. We are all aware where we are at this point in time. So the exercise of rebuilding this organization is currently underway. There are hardworking men and women in blue. I agree with Honorable Shongwe.